Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about hearing from your ex's friends and family over the holidays, but not your ex.
This happens all the time.
I just talked to somebody today that on Christmas morning, her ex's sister-in-law added her on Instagram.
It's so interesting how they find you.
Really? And she's like, why would they do that on Christmas morning? And I said, well, quite a few scenarios. You try and run down the different options and scenarios for why that might have happened in that particular case.
Right. The family might not know that the two of you have broken up. The family might be very friendly and very open. My mom used to do this, and it would irk me all the time because sometimes she would hand me her phone to look at things or, to show me a message, and I see like she's messaging one of my exes. I'm like, Mom.
Yeah. Meanwhile, your ex gets that message and is like, does she know? Did she tell her to? And now it puts a lot of doubt and wonder in your ex's mind.
Yeah, right? And it's usually the cheesiest thing. It will be like a Tweety bird that's saying Happy New Year's, with like some glitter and
Yeah, like it looks like it was like made in like 1985, but somehow on a smartphone. Like, why do parents always find those kind of emojis?
I don't know how.
They look like the most old kind of random things, and it's like, what? It is. I could see like the Tweety bird with like glitter, and it's like looks like a sticker like from your sticker book in the 80s, and somehow it's on a smartphone, and you're like, this does not fit at all.
Right. So family might not have any ill intention at all. They might just be trying to connect. It might just be like there's social or cultural norm for them to, wish an ex well. But we can see that it can lead to a lot of complications, especially if the breakup is a bit more recent, too.
So if you had your ex's family and friends reach out to you, it probably made a million things come up in your mind. Were they there? Did they tell them to do it? Are they looking at my stories? Are they missing me? And now you can't stop thinking about that.
Yeah.
It will consume you.
Yeah, it can be a lot. And like I said, they could have no ill intention at all. They may have formed their own bond with you. Sometimes when couples get together, it's like their families get together too. And you might feel like your ex's mom or ex's dad is almost like your second parent.
Sure.
You can get that close.
I know I felt like that with some of my girlfriend's parents. I loved them, and it was that actually was one of the major reasons I had a hard time with one particular breakup. It's like, man, this is like my dad, like it's like my mom. It's like, it's really tough. The whole family,
and the siblings too.
and you don't want them to be angry at you or hurt or upset because of it, and you feel kind of guilty about it.
And it can be hard because you can have your own independent relationship with your ex's family to the point where sometimes some of you will spend alone time with your ex's parent. And sometimes even after the breakup, the parent will want to meet up. Oh, let's go for coffee on Thursdays like we always do. Or, you're welcome to join the family dinner this time. They might not go through the normal like societal breakup things that people do where, the parents are in no contact too, sometimes not.
Sure. I had something like that happen with my family where someone in my family was dating a guy and she ended the relationship, and her parents said, hey, look, if you ever want to get to coffee or something, we want us to be on good terms, even though you guys split up. And the ex took that as, oh, well, see, your parents still want us together, and tried to kind of twist the situation around, which that wasn't in their intent. They were just trying to be on good terms and not interfere.
Yeah. Yeah. And while it feels good to hear from an ex's family on one end because it kind of validates your relationship, it might feel good to feel like they're on your side.
They still care about you.
Yeah. The family still likes you or wants to connect with you. It can feel like it validates your relationship. Okay, this was real. I'm close with the family. The family recognizes that we had a relationship and a connection here.
Yep.
You have to be really, really careful about trying to manipulate the situation, gain information, try to use the family as pawns to get back to your ex.
I made that mistake.
Tell us.
Made that mistake with the
beans.
Applebee's girl.
Let's hear
I've talked about it. Listen, there's no shame in my game. I put it out there for you guys. It's embarrassing, but I didn't know any better. There were no coaches out there talking about breakups like this at the time. And I was very close with her family. And, obviously I've talked about how close I was with her daughter, but even her mom, her sister, her brother, her whole family. My family loved her family loved my family. And so I thought they were going to help give me information, and they did for what they could. In fact, it got so bad that she actually got angry at her family and stopped talking to him for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Because they're like, you can't keep talking to Craig and telling him what's going on or about the situation. But they're like, we're trying. We love you. We think you're great, and we think you're great with our daughter and our granddaughter. So they were trying to help where they could. I didn't realize that you got to leave everybody alone. As really much as you want to talk with them, get information, say, hey, put in a good word for me, which is what I said to her brother. And it's not like I had to. I'm sure they already were, but they didn't understand like how upset I was at the time, I don't think, and what I was going through. But it gets really tempting to try and get information from them, but it often comes back to them.
Yeah. And when it does come back to them, when it does come back to your ex, it can lead to them feeling like there's a violation of privacy there. It can give them this sense that, you're talking about them behind their back or having conversations about them that they don't know about with people that they love and trust.
Yep.
So it can feel like a betrayal on some end too. And it can feel like invading their privacy by trying to connect with people on their inner circle, especially if this is like their mom, dad, maybe they still live with their parents, so all of this is happening in their household. It can feel even more intense. So a lot of times they get very upset about that.
They're going to get angry. They're very likely going to get angry because they're going to feel like you're trying to manipulate, which you are, which is why we say not to do it, right? We talk about the things that we've learned the hard way because it helps you not make those same mistakes. So you don't want to interfere. You don't need to tell them to put in a good word for you. They know who you are. They know how you've showed up or treated their son, daughter, whatever, niece, nephew, cousin, sister, brother, whatever it may be. And they're probably going to put in their own opinion regardless of you asking them to or interfere.
Yeah. And instead, if you do hear from your ex's family during holidays, really at any point, of course, keep things brief, keep things polite. We're not saying completely ignore them.
Don't ignore.
Yeah, you want to be able to be respectful towards that person, but you don't want to pry for any more information. You don't want to use it as an opportunity to try to get back to your ex.
Yeah, because there's the possibility that your ex does know about the interactions. There's the possibility that they don't know. So treat it like they are going to find out with whatever you write. Just treat it like your ex is going to read those messages. So if you don't want your ex to see that particular message, don't say it.
And I would be very wary of bringing up the relationship at all to any family members or friends, for that matter, if they do reach out to you. Gently acknowledge if they do bring it up. Like if, let's say, a parent will say, oh, what are you thinking about so-and-so? Or how are you doing with the breakup?
Yeah, it's tough.
You want to think about some answers that you can prepare for ahead of time, but try to give minimal information about yourself at that point.
Yeah, sure. Like, well, obviously breakups are tough and can make you really reflect on a lot of things, but I'm doing as well as could be, or something like that.
Yeah.
You need to show like you're doing okay. You don't want to look like you're dying or devastated.
Right. And you don't want to dive into then making it about you and your grief and sharing that with a parent for them to comfort you. You want to find your own support system that can comfort you through the breakup that you can rely on. Okay, with all of that too, losing an ex can also feel like losing a family at times too. You might have had that sense of belonging, and there can be that grief with that changing of that relationship. So we want to acknowledge that, especially around the holidays. We know that not everybody has a supportive family, and we may have relied on our ex for their supportive family. Sometimes we get a greater sense of belonging with our ex's family than our own.
True.
So we know that there can be a lot of pain behind it. So please, during the holidays, in general, be compassionate to yourself during this time.
Yep, because there's a good chance they could reach out to you for Christmas or New Year's. Happy New Year's. How's your New Year been? Something like that. They don't often realize how painful a breakup is when they send these messages. They're not meaning to bring up a lot of intense emotions for you. They think they're just being kind and courteous a lot of times, and, maybe they're being curious behind your ex's back. Maybe your ex is putting them up to it. It's hard to know because, but to treat it like they know, so that way you don't say anything that you're like, oh, why did I say that?
Yeah. Yep.
Otherwise you'll be like me.
Yep.
Saying, oh, why did I say that?
And we know that there are some family members that are very nosy, that are very intrusive. There are certain cultures that just love to talk about what's going on with the family, what's going on with, such and such's ex and their lives. And so you don't want to contribute to that. You want to be able, during a breakup, to give your ex and their family that space. And when your ex makes a decision to reconsider, then you can, reestablish those relationships as time passes.
Yeah. You want to try and be respectful of the dynamic that your ex would want going forward. And keep that in mind, especially if you're trying to reattract them and you don't want to upset them. So it can be tough. Try not to overthink it. Of course, we can help you talk about those things and explore those things. If you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.